So you guys know that I work in beauty, and you guys have heard a little bit about the story of us moving to New York so that I could pursue a career in beauty and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Well, this year I made like a unexpected, but um, unexpected career shift. Not career shift, but a leveling up in my career,
Yeah.
and it has been one of the most interesting transitions for me because when I think about my entire like life for the last 10 years, it has been a very interesting journey of figuring out what I want to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like really trying to carve out my sort of like way and decide what I'm going to do and not having a roadmap. Like I think
Yeah.
about the fact that like we came up here together,
Mhm.
and I did not have a roadmap of what my career would look like in beauty. I
Yeah.
had never seen anyone do it. I assumed I could do it.
Right.
And I kind of was just like feeling my way through it. And so these last couple of years have been like 100% grind mode. Like when I
Yeah.
tell y'all, every time a door closed, I was knocking on another door to make something else happen, or every
Yeah.
time something didn't work out, I shifted quickly to make something happen. Like the sheer amount of grind that has been
Mhm.
going on these last couple of years has been like, something that you when you're in it, you don't realize you're going that hard, I guess.
Mm.
And so when I got it's not even a promotion, it's just like
Level up.
a level up
Yeah.
in my career, and you realize that like you're doing what you sought out to do. Like I had a moment recently when I was sitting in a room with people that I'd never thought I'd be sitting in a room with, talking about stuff that like feels very heavy and very
Yeah.
serious, and it's just like, this is what I've worked for,
Mm.
but being in those spaces is so humbling, and I'm just so thankful for the God-given grind of it all, but then also to know that my path was predetermined, right? God has a plan for all of us, and however that looks for you is just as beautiful as what mine looks like.
Yeah.
And so I'm just so thankful, I guess. And for the first time in a very long time, I feel okay. Like I
Yeah.
don't feel like I don't feel that burning itch to like push more, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like
Oh,
I
wow.
I,
Wow. Yeah.
I feel like I can breathe a little bit,
Yeah.
and
Grind mode is kind of you're starting to move away from grind mode and you're now in like
yeah,
thrive
I'm
mode.
lit. Yeah, it's less grind and more thrive, and it's so, again, humbling, and I'm just so thankful because, a lot of our 20s was a lot of sacrifice. Like I talk about this on this podcast, but I don't think you guys realize how much that like Greg, while we were engaged, supporting me and being like, you should do that for your life.
Yeah.
How selfless that was, and how selfless it was of the people around me. When I tell you I had no money, I had no money. My parents were buying my tickets. I was sleeping on my sister's couch.
Mm.
And now to sit in a home that we own,
Right.
and we're talking about how beautiful and comfortable our lives are and decisions that we are making for our future and our family. And I am just so thankful to God for this year, because this year has been a huge year of transition, and like I said, for the first time in a long time, I feel like I can breathe. I've got an amazing husband. I've got a career that I'm proud of.
Mm.
I've got family that I love to death. I have a new community of friends that like see me for me and love
Yeah.
me. And I feel like sometimes I'd be like, is this real? Like, is this my life for real? But like, I worked for it, and I know there's more to come. Like I'm very
Right.
young in my career. There's still more to come, but to having gotten through the initial push out of your
Yeah.
20s, it's interesting to be on the other
To
side.
build that foundation. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it's really interesting to be in that transition
Mhm.
because you have to adjust so much in the
Yeah.
sense of how you view things.
Mhm.
You're creating now you're just more so maintaining
Mhm.
where you're at instead of trying to build something.
Yeah.
And the mindset of maintaining and build versus building is very different. And
Yeah. It feels
it's
different.
very jarring to go through that transition because then also you look up and you're just like, okay, I'm at a point now where I don't necessarily have to necessarily focus on what's next. I need to
Yeah.
focus on building what I have now and building with
Yeah.
what I have now, I should say.
That's a beautiful way to
And
put it.
because you've you're trying to pull all the pieces together, and you
Mhm.
finally pulled them all together,
Mhm.
and now it's like, all right, now that I've got all the pieces together, we have this foundation.
Mhm.
What do we build on this foundation? Because that's
Mhm.
what we're really building is our foundation.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and coming up to this New York City area and build and putting in roots,
Mhm.
like basically semi-permanent roots
Mhm.
by choosing to purchase a home in this area
Yeah.
is like a big part, and that means like we're not going anywhere anytime soon.
We're
Like
stuck.
we got to make this work. Um, but it's these are all, and I think we talked about this in a sense of like you have to sometimes realize like you're living your goals.
Mhm.
Sometimes at
Mhm.
one point where you're at today was a dream,
Mhm.
and I don't care what level you're at in
Yeah.
your journey.
Mhm.
Where you're at today is a can be viewed and for many people
Mhm.
uh, a goal at one point.
Yeah.
Whether it is you're in college right now,
Mhm.
or you're going back to school,
Mhm.
or you've got a family, you've got whatever it is that you have, all these blessings that we have. It's like this at one point was
Mhm.
the dream. So
Mhm.
like smell the roses and like really enjoy and live in it. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of maybe where you're seeing yourself at
Mhm.
is, because we had to, like you said, get it out the mud. Like
Yeah.
we had to make a lot of sacrifices. We still
Yes.
making
Of
sacrifices, but
course.
like, we had to make a lot of sacrifices and live outside of our comfort
Very
zones
much
and really
so.
push ourselves
Mhm.
to reach a space where we could look at it today.
Mhm.
And I think it's more of like now, like live it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're at.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And again, I'm just, I don't take for granted the fact that my life is a result of other people pouring into me too. So I also feel like I'm a season in my life where I'm ready to pour into others a little bit more too,
Mm,
which is exciting to feel like you have the space to to manage that
yeah.
transaction,
Hmm.
But like I just look back over the amount of love and support and prayers and just all that kind of stuff. And not only for me, but like for us as a couple and our foundation and our moving here, like there were so many people who were rooting for us. And so, yeah, to feel like this year is a turning page and really a beginning of a new chapter. For some reason, it feels like the beginning of a
Yeah.
new chapter. Like it feels like these last 10 years where were I don't know, the part one of a book or part
Yeah.
two. Yeah, part two, because my order that was part two. But
Yeah.
it really feels like a part three is about to start, and that is wild to me.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to writing it with you. You know,
Listen, you're the co-author. We write this book
co-author.
together.
Yeah. I love that.